This channel has been known to trigger leftists and trolls alike. Proceed with extreme caution. You have been warned.
We're learning dark new details of a killing spree that left 4 dead before the man who pulled the trigger turned the gun on himself.
She grown, we grown. Veins traumatized.
2 teams are now charged with abducting a woman in Uptown and raping her.
We've had people ask us, was it a racial incident? Was it someone had just a bad feeling against this group of kids? And we just don't know at this point.
I don't understand why they didn't say there was an abduction of some sort. They didn't have to give details. It's something we need to know.
He's supposed to turn it back over to her after everything's done. And it didn't.
I got into a fight, but she's not going to run him over.
It was just horrible to see something like this. You know, your cousin's laying on the ground dead because somebody chose to get a gun to shoot somebody.
It shows 8 teens between the ages of 17 and 18 fighting on campus after school.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
I don't know where I'm going. I pack up tonight. I don't know where I'm going. I just packed up. I need help. She didn't get to say goodbye. She didn't even get to say I love you that morning.
Why hadn't I heard about it?
You should always call 911 before hitting the record button on your phone.
Why hadn't I heard about it?
Damn!
Now YouTube censored. Now YouTube censored.
I'm mad as hell right now. Yes, I am.
Viewer discretion is advised. Mama Black.
This program contains language and sequences some viewers may find disturbing.
Investigators are still piecing together what led to this fight at Lakewood High School last week.
We've had people ask us, was it a racial incident? Was it someone had just a bad feeling against this group of kids? And we just don't know at this point.
Deputy Ken Bell with the Sumter County Sheriff's Department says they received several different angles of the video. It shows 8 teens between the ages of 17 and 18 fighting on campus after school. Authorities have identified the teens and are working to determine if criminal charges are necessary.
There were a lot of witnesses in the parking lot. There were several videos taken and posted on social media.
One of those posts coming from one of the teens' mothers. She says her son was attacked, and after finding out about it, she was told he and the 2 boys he was with would be charged and expelled from school. In a statement from the Sumter School District, they say all teens will face disciplinary action.
So we're trying to talk to everyone who was out there to try to get the story of what happened, why it happened, and who all was involved.
If the teens are charged, they could be facing disturbing school and assault charges. But authorities say if you see any violent acts like these, you should always call 911 before hitting the record button on your phone. In studio, Jamal Goss, watch Fox News.
Two teams are now charged with abducting a woman in Uptown and raping her. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says that they have petitioned to charge the 17-year-olds Wayne Armstrong and Darius Freeman as adults. But tonight, police are still looking for one more suspect, 23-year-old Deontay Larson. Our Brett Hoffman spoke with some Minneapolis residents. Brett, they are concerned about the timing. They are not happy they didn't hear about this.
And a lot of questions, Leah. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says the alleged crimes took place in Uptown more than 4 months ago. And now residents are wondering why they didn't receive any notice of such serious crimes when it happened. Christina Miller is on her neighborhood discussion app Nextdoor.
There's also crime and safety.
This week, that's where she said she learned there was a reported robbery, kidnapping, and sexual assault just blocks away from her in October.
Why? Why hadn't I heard about it?
In this release, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office described the incident as, quote, a night of terror. According to criminal complaints, the night of October 15th, a woman in her 20s was getting something from the trunk of her car when 23-year-old Deontay Lawson and 17-year-olds Darius Freeman and Wayne Armstrong stole her credit cards and forced her into a car at gunpoint.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Charging documents show the men then took the woman to a secluded wooded area and sexually assaulted her, then dragged her back into the car and drove east towards Washington County. Court records outline the woman convinced them to stop for gas, but, quote, Fearful for her life, she managed to escape, running barefoot and hid behind trees in the woods.
Nobody had heard about it.
Back in Minneapolis, Miller has serious questions as to why she and the rest of her neighbors weren't aware this happened until now.
I don't understand why they didn't say there was an abduction of some sort. They didn't have to give details. It's something we need to know.
Minneapolis police confirms a crime alert was not issued in the case, saying it did not meet the, quote, threshold for dissemination, adding if there would be a risk to public safety, an alert would have been made.
I'm concerned for my safety as a female, and anywhere. You know, Uptown's certainly not immune to anything.
The two juveniles are in custody, but Lawson remains at large, and police say if the public knows anything, to give them a call about Lawson.
I don't think my sister did it, though.
Jessica Coleman was surprised when we told her older sister, Rajani Coleman, was accused of hurting her boyfriend.
They probably got into a fight, but she's not going to run him over.
But a truck driver who stopped at these railroad tracks on Warford Monday afternoon says that's exactly what happened. When police got here, they say Tavari Golden was 150 yards down the tracks on the ground with Coleman kneeling over him. The truck driver told officers he saw a car follow Goldman down the tracks, hit him from behind, drive over him, and keep going. The victim told police that he and his girlfriend Rajani Coleman got into a fight while driving southbound here on Warford and pulled over. He says he got out of the vehicle and walked down the tracks. He says that's when Coleman got in the driver's seat, drove on the tracks, and ran him down. In 2016, Coleman was accused of threatening her mother with a knife, but the charge was dropped. In 2016 and 2017, she was arrested for assault, but only got diversion for resisting arrest. Jessica says she's concerned about her sister, but says she's responsible for her own decisions.
She grown, we grown. Things coming like.
The boyfriend was taken to the hospital, but was not seriously hurt. In North Memphis, Melissa Moon, WREG, News Channel 3.
First at 5:30, a 91-year-old woman hurt and could be homeless now. She says her own relatives caused her heartache. Good evening, everybody. She lost the very home she has lived in for decades.
Now she's accusing her own family members of it of fraud. 7 News reporter Vanessa Medina live for us in Hollywood with our top story at 5:30. Vanessa?
She says she never saw it coming. 50 years she's lived in the house that you see behind me. She's half blind, so she knows how to get around in this house. She says now that she's being kicked out, she doesn't know how she's going to do it anywhere else.
I want to live contented in my house because my house is paid off.
Yvonne King worked hard as a housekeeper to pay for her home in Hollywood that she's owned for more than 50 years. All for when she retired, for when she could no longer work.
I'll be 92. I can't go to work. I can't wait for nobody. Nobody gonna hire me.
She fell behind on her taxes, owing the county about $5,000. A relative approached her about helping.
He said he was gonna sign, just pay the tax and sign my house over to him.
Bringing her a quitclaim deed.
He said, "Nah, you signed it." I cannot see good. My eyes are bad. And I couldn't see what I was writing. He just told me, sign here.
He's supposed to turn it back over to her after everything's done, and it didn't happen.
Months later, an eviction notice arrived at her home.
I did not know the man was going to take my house.
She tried to get in touch with her relative, but nothing.
I called him over and over.
King and her son Jerome finally going to court.
The judge made the inquiry. He said, if you get your money back, would you be willing to give Miss King her house back? He said no.
He said no.
He said no.
I want the house.
He said, I want the house.
And because she legally signed the quitclaim deed, there's nothing anyone can do about it.
I mean, I cried all night, and I ain't got nowhere to stay. Right now, I'm packing tonight. I don't know where I'm going. I'm packing tonight. I don't know where I'm going. I just packed up. I need help.
This poor woman has no idea where she's going to go. She was supposed to be out by tonight, but a judge got involved, called the relative, and, well, he gave them an extension until Monday. I called that relative over the phone, and he told me, quite frankly, it is a family matter. Reporting live in Hollywood, Vanessa Medina, 7 News.
What set him off? Tonight, we're learning dark new details of a killing spree that left 4 dead before the man who pulled the trigger turned the gun on himself. We're also learning more about the 4 lives tragically lost on Detroit's west side.
Police say George Anthony Davis Jr. killed 3 people at a gas station on Detroit's west side, another at a nearby home, and then took his own life in a shootout with police in northern Ohio. Let's get to Priya Mann. She is live tonight. Priya, one of the victims, Kristen Thomas, just happened to ask for a ride Monday morning, we understand.
Yeah, that's right. Kristen works at McDonald's. When she saw the deacon and his daughter drive by, she stopped them and she asked for a ride, and it was a tragic twist of fate. Kristen and Sierra shot in the vehicle. Sierra's dad shot while pumping gas. The gunman would later turn the gun on himself, and these families say they will never get justice.
They were just really good people. They really did not deserve this.
Tarina Barganier lost her father and sister on Monday in a horrific shooting at a gas station on the west side.
It was just horrible to see something like this. You know, your cousin's laying on the ground there because somebody chose to get a gun to shoot somebody.
Senseless. Her sister, 23-year-old Sierra, was a focused young woman who was always working. But her greatest achievement came 2 months ago. A healthy baby boy.
She was so excited. I just can't wait till you get here. I can't wait till you get here rubbing her belly.
Police say the infant's father, George Anthony Davis Jr., shot Sierra, her father, and another woman at a Sunoco gas station at Fenkel and Beaverland. 60-year-old Raphael Hall was pumping gas when he was fatally shot. Hall was a popular deacon at Citadel of Praise in Detroit, a man of God. This was never far from reach.
He lived, breathed, eat, slept God's word. These are church people. These are people that, you know, love life.
The family says Davis was never violent and there had never been any signs of domestic abuse. He shot and killed the mother of his child while she was sitting in her vehicle.
How couldn't you have understood where you were taken away from us?
She didn't get to say goodbye. She didn't even get to say I love you that morning.
This heartbroken mother lives a street away from the Barganier family. She goes to the same church where Hall is a deacon. Her daughter, Kristen Thomas, happened to be in the car with Sierra.
She didn't know him. She didn't even know what was happening.
Sabrina Thomas says her daughter was running late yesterday, and when the 21-year-old saw Deacon Hall, she asked for a ride to work.
We talked about her plans for her future, and the devil snuffed it right out from up under her.
And Thomas says she is so angry that she'll never see her daughter again, angry that their families will never get justice. Now, after killing 3 people, Davis then went to his cousin's home nearby, shot him, then fled to Ohio, where he killed himself. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Priya, I understand there is a tribute planned for tonight.
Yeah, there is a growing memorial planned tonight, a candlelight vigil. They'll also release balloons. It's meant as a way for this community to start the healing process when there are so many questions. That candlelight vigil tonight at 7 p.m. Local 4 will be there.
And obviously our thoughts are with the family. Thank you, Priya.
Richmond City Sheriff charged in red light crash. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond's new sheriff is currently facing charges after a 2-vehicle crash on Wednesday. The crash happened at the intersection of Enfield and Main Streets around 2 p.m. Richmond police say Sheriff Antoinette Irving ran a red light and was hit by another vehicle. The driver of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to the hospital. Irving was not injured in the crash. Irving told police she thought she had a green light. Police have charged her with disregarding a red light.
And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Also follow us on the usual media for more and interesting information like this.
Channel moderators are Jer Shax and Michael Thomas. Thanks for your diligence and dedication.
Fight their asses.